Welcome back to B Tier Podcast.
Glad to be here again.
I hope that audio settings are good. I might have you like pull up a little bit
Pull it
closer
up,
to
yeah.
you. Yeah, sometimes if you angle it up too, yeah, or you can always like move it down and around and do all that stuff too.
We'll play with it.
Yeah, whatever you think you need to do. Man, I am excited. It has been a long process today. We have camera A, we have camera B, we got camera me. We got a lot going on here, right? And I know kind of, making our way through this process of setting up just the B Tier podcast has been a lot today.
It has been a little bit
Today.
of hassle, yes.
Yeah,
You had the most of the headache.
I've been upset.
Yeah.
I'm upset. But, we come back better. We come back stronger.
Yeah, we'll bounce
and
back. We'll bounce back.
do learn, commit. You know what I mean? No, I'm excited today because I don't think you're ready.
Ready? What do
Yeah,
you mean?
you brought your notes, right? Because this one's going to be a little bit of a doozy.
I'm ready.
I'm going to be honest, I did not prepare anything. Like, when you said, hey, let's do a podcast today, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm in.
Who said that? You said that.
Did I say that?
Yeah. You said, are you ready to do a podcast today?
That's true. Well, like I said, if you brought your notes, you're going to be fine. I didn't, actually
I don't think we did
notes.
that last time, so.
Oh, yeah.
That was just off the top of our head.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
We did that
Yeah.
already?
Well, one episode.
We'll wrap the show up. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. No, it's funny because you had just mentioned this before we went live. But you were like, oh, yeah, I've already done more shows than your other co-hosts.
I said this is going to be the same amount as your other co-host.
Okay, yeah, like we had just gotten to that point.
Yeah.
But how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel that you kind of community took over the podcast?
Well, someone had to do it. You know what I mean? Like, someone has to be here. You can't just sit here and talk to yourself. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure you could.
I think I could do it because I'm talking to the audience. In all reality,
I mean, you
like,
do it on your other streams, or don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I pretend chat is there though, so I think it's like a little bit
sometimes
different.
you do read chat. Like when we play Mario Kart,
Yeah.
you read chat, shouting out to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Dude, it's funny. Last night I was on the phone with somebody and they were like, "Oh yeah, you should for our entire organization, right? So I'm a part of a gaming org called Official ODG. First time I'm introducing it to the show, so I have to act like everybody else is listening, but they probably aren't, you know what I mean? So Official ODG is a gaming org that I've been running for the last 2 years, right? And it's been a long time. The first year was really just kind of getting everything kind of worked out. We were kind of figuring out what avenue direction we wanted to go. It used to be named Overdose Gaming, and then we moved that to Once Divine Gaming, and then we changed all of the tags on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Kick, you name it. It turned into Official ODG. So then we just have that, right? We got a new logo. We got a new kind of flow of work. We kind of got a new social media manager. We got a competitive team lined up for Counter-Strike. And this was all in the first maybe year and a half. And then we got a website working now. We got links to everybody on there. We have 13 content creators, or no, we might even be up to 14 now, and then not including myself. And then we have, the gaming team, the competitive side of the org is pretty much dissolved. So we're kind of just a content org at this point, right? And the way that we've been kind of setting this all up is we kind of planned on having some type of ad revenue coming in by now, or some type of advertising,
something,
whatever it is,
right.
Sponsorships. It's got to be something that we're getting paid to do,
right?
And nobody in our org, except for one person, is full-time streaming right now. And they do not benefit from the org because they're already doing their own thing.
Oh, gotcha. So they already had their channel before coming into the org.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were the only full-time streamer before they signed theoretically into ODG. And I think it's kind of become an issue because it's we have a lot of creators that are kind of going their own route, like they're kind of doing their own thing, but they aren't really benefiting as
a whole. Because one's already way up here, and the rest are trickled along the way.
Yeah, look, we're all in different spots and like our careers, whatever it is. Right. But I was talking last night to one of my buddies in the org, and he was like, "Yeah, like I want to throw like some serious money into this org." And me being like more of a financial savvy person, more somebody who like
a guru.
No,
no,
I wouldn't say a guru by any means, but I think as somebody who is in like the investment world and is somebody who like wants people's money to go further than what they put into it,
what they thought it could go.
I can't in good conscience tell him to be like, you should put money into this org because of where we're at right now.
Did you explain it to him that way?
Yes. And he was like, well, how about I like kind of co-opt the org and like get your creators to like kind of more subscribe to the idea of like, hey, let's run this as a business. Hey, let's make money. Hey, let's do this and that. And I think personally, I'm going through my brain right now and I'm like, I don't know if we're going to have as many creators as we would, because we're probably going to make people leave with that mentality. You know what I mean?
Making it a business.
Yeah.
Because then people aren't having as much fun, or like...
Yeah, people wouldn't be having any fun.
Okay.
It'd just be all work. Yeah, well, in the sense of like you're still gaming, you're still hanging out with like your friends while you're gaming.
But right, like you're making it a job at
you're
that
making
point.
content, but you are obligated, by the org to be like.
Is that a set hours a day, or is that just like whenever you feel like playing? Like is that a thing? Like.
I wouldn't like force anybody to like, oh, you have to stream 50 hours a week or whatever, because that's absurd. But I mean, like, I wouldn't.
I know. I mean, I know there are like people that do go to work there 40 hours a week and then come home and stream another 40.
I know people who do that too. But I wouldn't obligate that from the org standpoint, because we have creators in so many different spots. Like some people are only like part-time creators, right? I'm one of those people. I'm a part-time creator. I did not do this for like a full time. I never will. I probably never and I kind of
just because it will take the joy out of just gaming, or just because. What are your thoughts on that?
The reason that I started making content in the first place was because I just wanted to like get better at something that I've never done before.
Oh, okay.
So when I first started content, like. Man, it's got to be almost 10 years ago now, maybe even more, because the first time I ever made like a YouTube video, me and one of my buddies and like, I don't know, it was before middle school years, we tried to make like a feature film, like a full-length feature film, and it was called the Not Coming Out movie, and it's like...
Is this still on YouTube?
I don't know if we ever clicked publish. I'm going to be honest, I hope we didn't. But, with that in mind... like we kind of went the entire route of like we had a zombie movie with like the whole premise of the movie was that the Gears of War movie was supposed to come out in like the year 2008 and the movie never came out and people were like getting mad about it.
So you made your own.
What?
So you made your own.
Yeah, we made our own movie. Right, so we were so mad that the movie that was supposed to... It's hilarious because HBO just bought the rights to Gears of War and they might actually come out with a movie like this year or next year.
You better copyright yours, so then they have to pay you.
Our movie's not about... So our movie is not about the Gears of War movie, but it is about their reaction to the movie not coming out in theaters. So it starts off with like...
Do you make another one if this one doesn't come out? Like if this one...
No, because the first one never came out. The first movie never came out.
Yeah, so. Like do you make another one if this movie doesn't come out? Like another reaction video?
Maybe. With a higher production value. Because the cameras that we were working with at the time were terrible.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So we had... and I love how this all started because like, okay, so we had... one of my neighbor friends, like we had like half the neighborhood involved at this point. We had so many extras. We had so many people.
Oh, yeah.
But we were like, guys, we're gonna make a movie about a movie that didn't come out, and everybody's reaction to it is like the end of the world.
That sounds kind of funny.
Opening
Like,
scene. We had one of my neighbor friends. He's going down the street, pulls into the neighborhood, and then pulls like and obviously we have like really cheery music or whatever, and like it's pretty cinematic shots. We had like a GoPro at the an off-brand GoPro at the time, and he scoots into like my neighbor's or into my friend's driveway. And there's somebody at the end of the driveway having like a newscast, right? So this is how the movie starts. It was amazing. This is like a 5-minute or 4-minute intro. But the newscaster is like, oh yeah, in today's news, we have like this and this and that or whatever. And the guy on the skateboard just starts unloading. Uzi, like we had like airsoft Uzi at the time, and he just starts blasting, right?
just ask the news anchor.
Newscaster, like really bad CGI, like head blows off, just goes flying, like body parts sprinkled all over the lawn. Like it gets so dark, like, so quickly. You have like the cameraman gets shot, and he's like running away, backing off. It's kind of like got that Cloverfield feel, because that movie hadn't come out yet, but like we figured that was probably going to be, because we had just watched like Blair Witch for the first time. Right, it was like early, again, late elementary school years.
Early middle school, yeah, right.
And we'd just seen Blair Witch, so we're like, dude, like we can probably make a movie, right?
Well, we could make a scary movie, yeah.
And so camera person like gets shot, backs up. There's like 3 or 4 people on camera getting shot, like just beamed up. And then, like the neighbor with the Uzi's like, I'm going to go everywhere else now. And that's how the movie starts. It's like road title.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I would. Like film now with like a producer and everything. That'd be a great intro.
If we had a team.
Like, right.
If we had a team, it could do some numbers.
Like, that'd be a great intro.
And we had taken from a lot of different ideas. I get that. But
maybe they took from you.
Our movie never got published, so like nobody took from us. Nobody saw
it. It was your ideas.
But
seeing your ideas come to life, in a movie.
I just imagine if we had the budget that I have now on that movie.
Oh yeah.
It would have been baller.
That would have been great.
And we spent. It was probably a full summer editing that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because we had started like end of May, and I think we finished right before school started in like August or September. So we had spent a solid 5 months on like it was an hour and 23 minutes, I think, or an hour and 22 minutes after editing. Well, after the editing and like the credit rolls and stuff like that, like we ended up getting around that time. But we had a ton of extras. We had like a ton of people in there. One of the most ridiculous projects I think I've ever worked on, and like it just never came out. The coming out movie never came out. It was like poetic almost.
Maybe you guys titled that for a reason.
Yeah, I think we just knew, but I think the summer after that we worked on like making dubstep music. So like,
elevating,
we were just doing everything.
Just starting, right?
We were just doing everything at the time.
Trying different stuff. I get that.
It's like my first dive into content creation, right? And then when I had like first started making What It Do Productions, What It Do TV was like an episode thing that I used to do. And it used to just be like small philosophical takes, or it would be like drinking tea and chilling or whatever. And, kind of doing a bunch of different things like that. Like I was just like, like I'm gonna have like a 5-minute sit down in the morning, film it, and like talk to the camera about breathing or whatever. I was doing like weird things like that. I was just like in my headspace at the time. I was kind of doing a little bit of different things. I was experimenting, And I had done What It Do TV for like maybe a year and a half or 2 years, like with not really any success at all. And then I started a YouTube channel, Bitcoin Overdose. Then I did Bitcoin Overdose for like 2-3 years, basically into like 2019, 2020 time frame. Kind of picked it back up in 2021, but I was like, And then I kind of full board into Ghost After Dark, like after the Bitcoin overdose stuff kind of like fizzled out. I got bored of crypto content. I was like, oh yeah, like, and you know, I got some views here and there, and like I was getting pretty good donos on stream and stuff, but I was just like, I don't want to do this forever, right?
Right.
And I think that's like a thing with content. I've always like
Well,
pivoted.
I feel like that's hard enough to do like on it by itself, but like doing it like live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like that sounds like wild. You know what I mean? Like you could be losing a bunch of money just going live. You know what I mean? Like that's the chance.
Yeah.
It's just like looking like a fool, I guess you would. You know what I mean? Like I guess I don't know.
Do you think? I guess looking like a fool or whatever. You know, I might be kind of like narcissistic in this regard or whatever, because like having a camera on you like in itself is like a weird thing. Like you kind of look like a fool when you're just in a room by yourself talking to a camera.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get that.
And I guess that's never really like.
I mean, what's the difference between doing that or everyone has those car mount things where they put their phone, right? And you just see you driving, talking to yourself.
That's true.
Or the headsets.
That's true. But I guess in video form, like right now we're recording.
Right.
We're not talking to anybody.
No.
There's no one here. There's no one behind the camera here. There's no one over
Do
there.
you think that there'll ever be a live audience?
On B tier podcast?
Just in any of your like streams.
I could low key see Lord Peppa doing a live show.
That'd be sick.
An in person, like not really a concert, but more of like a theater play. I could see him putting that together.
Is that because he's already a character?
Yeah, like yeah, I imagine somebody just setting up like fake 3D scenes. Like you have like the cutout like tree that you pull on the stage.
Would they start
one,
at the
stage
beginning where he's
left, and-
actually a doctor?
No. Throw the big screen up and it would be like you just play COD or whatever, but like you just have a live audience behind you. That doesn't make any sense. But
Well,
it
I
would
think
be
like
funny.
B tier would be great because then you could just be like throw ideas in a hat.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
and then we just like grab, you know what
and
I
then
mean?
and then we talk about whatever comes
Whatever
up.
it is.
You know, that would be amazing. A B tier live show would go insane.
I think it'd be fun.
I think I'd be nervous.
Well, it depends on the crowd.
It would be our crowd.
Well, yeah, we would hope if they're coming to a live show of ours or B tier in general.
But we might have hecklers.
That'd be fun.
Do you think you could handle a heckler? Like a stand up almost? Stand up comedian heckler?
Could we heckle back?
Yeah.
Well, then yeah.
As long as you don't say anything too.
Oh, I wouldn't be offensive about it.
Okay. Do you think you would get like canceled for offensive material at any point, Phil?
I don't know. Like, maybe if I like started streaming like my gaming, like, because I know I get mad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I say anything like too offensive.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not calling anybody
I'm not-
derogatory terms
Trust
or
me,
anything.
I'm not like
You know what I
trying to
mean?
get like something out of you right now. I'm not like, oh yeah, he's a liability.
Oh no.
I was just wondering because I know like people are always like, oh yeah, like I might get censored or whatever. Some people just go into content with that mindset. Jeff is one of those people.
I mean, if they start censoring like swearing, then yeah, I'd probably get censored.
Yeah.
But like, just my everyday talk, no, I'm probably not getting censored.
I don't think they'll ever go after swearing.
Well, it's just like
Advertisers might though. So like if you say the F bomb too much, you might not get a Red Bull sponsorship. You know what I mean?
they just gotta let me know.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I have this many F bombs I can drop before I lose this sponsorship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On camera, because off camera, I'm just gonna drop them. You know what I mean? Get them out of the way.
Yeah, I feel like off camera, I feel like you can be whatever you want to. Because I think
Unless I'm at work, because I don't think that'd fly very well.
no, not at our job, especially like that's a school, man. No, do you think that you kind of inherently, almost everybody, right? Do you think everybody kind of like inherently puts on a different persona when they're on camera or in front of a microphone, or
Maybe a little bit.
like do you think you're more animated on camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I always wonder, like, I feel like a lot of people I feel like a lot of people do that just inherently, and they like don't realize it. Because I do that for sure. I'm way more like interactive with people when I'm like in front of stuff, and when I'm like I
Well,
have
it's
to put
like,
on a show, like I have to entertain or whatever it
like,
is.
yeah, it doesn't bother me that there's cameras in the room. You know what I mean? Like,
That's good though. Because I think some people you put it in front of, and
and
they're
they just
just like,
stage fright and just
yeah,
lock
they
up.
like don't know what to do with their
Yeah,
hands,
lock
or
up.
like,
See,
you
I don't know
know,
what to do with my hands, but it's just like I'll just keep them out of sight. You know what I mean? Like,
that's probably safe. Mine are like all over the place. Mine are like, oh my gosh, did we see?
well, like sometimes I'll like throw them up in camera view and like do random gestures, but it's like
Yeah.
I'm not throwing any gang signs or anything. You know what I
Good.
mean? Like,
Good. We already got the red and blue mics, man. I think we're pretty much unified at this point. No, I always wonder though, like if people will ever come back to like these early podcasts and be like, oh, like that's cancelable, or like you'll get canceled for something that you said like 5 years ago or whatever.
it depends on our like the people growing up nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, what are they gonna find offensive? They're finding everything offensive. Me saying offensive could offend somebody.
No,
Like,
no, people aren't that.
you don't think?
I mean,
Like
maybe one
someone out
person,
there, yeah.
one person in the world that this podcast is not going to get recommended to, but you know, maybe one or two people. Do you think people are generally like way more, or I'll reword this. How do you think Gen Z is going to go into the adult world? Because I feel like most of them are getting there now. It's like, I always say that there's some time void between like 95 and 2000. I don't count those people as Gen Z. I don't really count them as millennials either. But there's some like in between partial, like they
So
grew
they're
up
in like
with
a
the
gray.
internet, but
They're
they
in the
grew
gray.
up. Yeah, they grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons, but they also grew up with like they had a smartphone in maybe middle school or high school years. So they just are like a little different on that. I'm in that group. I know a lot of people in that group.
I'm a little bit older.
Yeah,
A little bit.
a little bit. So you might have a better insight on this. But you know, like that like 95 to 2000 era, we don't know what the heck to do. We're all in betweeners. We're like not really millennials and we're not really Gen Z. People will say that we're like Gen Z, but it's like very loosely. But like a lot of Gen Z now, because we're getting into 2024, they're all about the age of like 25 now, or
Right.
23 or 22.
Where they actually have to go out in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that group of people is going to be better or worse than millennials?
In what they do, like for the world, or like just in general, like their general, like being able to just go out, like from the start.
Could be a little bit of everything, I guess.
Cause like I like some aspects of where they're going in like technology or like new modern stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're evolving things that we never could have thought of. But there's also things that they get real sensitive towards where I just don't think like I'd find that offensive. You know what I mean? Like they think they should have their safe space in the world, which granted I do think there should be. I call that your house. You know what I mean? That's your safe space. Like I could go there and I know I'm safe. You know what I mean? Like, or a friend's house that you're like really close to. But like, I don't think every place you go should have a safe space. You know what I mean?
Like, are you talking more of like college campuses
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
things that are like 'cause-
everyday jobs? Like, yeah.
Okay. So like you don't think that like an HR department should have like a safe, quiet spot for you to just let out emotions?
Well, wouldn't that just be like a rage room? You know what I mean? Like, why don't they just create a rage room then?
Because aggression's bad.
Not if it's in moderation. I mean, you're not like doing it on
Yeah.
someone else
No, that's true. That's true.
or company property.
But like aggression in general, I feel is like a toxic trait. So like you can't have toxicity in a safe space, right?
Right. Well, I guess I don't know.
Or am I overlooking at it? Am I
Well, if you're in your
overanalyzing?
safe space, what does it matter what you're feeling? Like, if I'm in my safe space, Like if I'm at home, who cares if I'm mad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the thing is like, not everything's at home anymore.
No.
Because you gotta know what we were just saying. Like, we have, like, random stuff now.
Right.
Do you think that, like, that has negatively impacted or positively impacted people having, like, safe spaces on college campus? Or,
I feel like it's neutral. Like some people have good experiences, some people have the bad ones. You know what I mean? Like there's both.
I've had, like, no filter my entire life, and it's because I've, like, never cared. I think a lot of.
Yeah, like in school, like yeah, I was always like blowing up at the teacher because I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like
But I think, in school or whatever, too, like, even outside of school, I feel like there's just never. I feel like there's so like trivial things. Like people get mad about the silliest things,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
things that actually matter. Like people don't get mad enough about.
no, right, which makes no sense.
And that's why I fear about like the next generation. Like I feel like the next gen is just, I like again my gen or whatever, like tail end of my gen and beginning of the next one, whatever it is. I think a lot of them. I think a lot of them believe that they can change the world. And that's really dangerous.
I agree because like they can change the world, but it doesn't have to be like an overnight thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not going to be an overnight thing.
It never will. It never has been.
No.
Every time that's been tried, I don't know. I can count.
I don't think any of them have worked.
I don't think it's worked at all.
No. How many of them try and then just give up?
Well, and that's kind of what we were talking about last
Yeah,
podcast.
like right, like
How many people like try
something and just no.
it doesn't work right away, and then they just give up. I think this particular next generation is more scary in the terms of like everything that they've been told has pretty much been. I mean, because we were told that too in growing up, but like the lies of like the actual like who's in power, what they're doing, where's the money coming from. I know this is like way bigger
Where it's
topics,
going,
but
right.
where it's going, like, I think millennials at least woke up to a lot of the anti-war sentiment that we need, and at least that'll like kind of get us away from the boomer mentality. But I think
how much of that came from like our generation though, like seeing what happened in our generation. You know what I mean? Like or us
how
saying.
old is like the oldest millennial? Like 40? 45?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
They fought the GWAT, right?
Right.
So like you're talking global war on terror. It started in like 2004, 2003. So like a lot of
you had Y2K in there too. You know what I mean? Like
millennials have lived through a lot.
right.
You guys. Well, okay. People compare this all the time too, because like you'll have like old people. You'll have like people who are like my grandma. Like she was born like right after World War One, lived through a Great Depression, lived through World War Two, lived through Vietnam, lived through like all the stuff now that we've lived through, COVID, like all of that, and
Crazy.
like you're supposed to tell her that
The world's ending.
the world's ending. Yeah, like no,
She'll be like again.
can't convince her.
She'll be like again.
Oh, you talking about like the things in the Middle East? They've been doing that every week for the last.
Oh, you mean like
40
Y2K
years.
that never happened? You know,
Yeah, the Gulf War. Oh yeah, the Gulf War already happened.
World War III. You
Yeah.
know? I've already seen two of them.
I've already
I know
seen
who
two.
won. No,
Yeah.
like-
Exactly. What do you think the biggest threat is right now to the world?
See, I couldn't like nail it down to one specific.
What is it? Wait, you said you can't? Or
No,
you
I
can?
can't.
Top three.
Well, it's just like, just all the hate in the world. Like I think is like number one. Like, because everybody's hating something or someone
Yeah.
for what it may be. Others may be like opportunity, money, greed. What can I benefit from this?
Yeah.
And then it's just like I don't know what the third one would be.
Do you think it's like anything environmental?
It could be, or what they were taught. You know what I mean? Like, say you are part of the military, they drill you. You know what I mean? Like, they make you forget everything you knew
Yeah.
for the most part.
Okay. So yeah, you're saying like it could be. Yeah, I mean, hate is definitely a big one. Like, there's just so much hate in the world.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's like such a big word almost. Because like, what is hate? Like I remember, I think like a big thing that's like been kind of changing, I guess, is like what is hate speech? Like how is hate speech defined in the Constitution versus like what it's defined by now in culture?
Right.
Not that we have to get too like into that, because I think like that is. I mean, a lot of people are like politically charged about that now, where it's like, oh, like
That's a canceled topic.
it is a cancel topic. Now that said, like it doesn't mean that I don't know that like hate in itself, I guess, doesn't exist because it does,
But it does, right?
right? Because even if like I don't know, I'm a free speech advocate, so like I think everything should be like fair game to at least discuss and talk about, and I think in like at least in the marketplace of ideas, like if you can't properly dictate and like address the actual like hateful parts of society, and they do just get like kind of pushed off to the side and they go into their own circles and they never have to debate people who are kind of like more normal. That stuff never gets exposed, so it never gets talked about, and then it just grows and grows and grows and grows because you keep pushing people into that group, and then eventually that group is just like, well, F you, and then that's like, they just do whatever they're gonna do. It is a big problem when you talk about like factions online and stuff like that, because like I feel like there are a lot of hateful individuals online that have been like canceled.
Screen warriors.
Yeah. And they've been like canceled and pushed off to the side.
Which is why they're doing it anonymously online.
Yeah. And I have no problem with anonymous online people. Like in general, usually they're pretty cool.
I think they're pretty
people.
funny.
They usually have the best
most of the
jokes,
time, right?
Because it's their safe space and they can tell whatever they want to.
Right.
But when it comes to, I guess like where culture is kind of taking that like hate stuff, there's a lot of hate on both the left and the right. I think a lot of people can see both. The way that propaganda has been going, I feel like they've been just amping up both sides on purpose.
Right.
It does feel like
it's
that.
It's an election year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's
everything
true.
happens on an election year.
Is it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
pretty much. But
they're amping up for this election.
And you have, I mean, because these factions, quote unquote, these like two different groups, they've gotten bigger.
Oh, every day.
They got a lot bolder on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's just like amping up. And I feel like we're at a point where like we can't even discuss it without one side or the other side taking total hate offense.
Right.
Which is a good thing. But it's also like you need to be able to bring it back in. Like you need to like
let's
bring
have a
the pot
discussion.
down.
Right. Like let's not get heated. Let's have a discussion.
How do you think that we'd like bring down the temp? Bring down like the boiling pot temp of the country right now.
I don't think you can. Honestly.
You were just at the whim of it.
I think it's like I don't even think it's like at boiling point yet. Like I think it's gonna get worse.
Really?
Yeah. Like closer and closer to election, it's gonna start getting like hot.
Yeah. Because how many months? We're like 3 months away.
Yeah.
So like, I know
3.5. Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah.
Because the last election cycle, it popped off.
Yeah.
But like most people just want to chill. Like, most people just want to hang out, chill,
like 80%, 80%, 85% just want to chill.
Not talk about anything.
Yeah.
Like the Kardashians, you want to know, like, what they're up to or whatever.
Right.
Maybe that's your drama for the day, and then.
Or like Survivor or something.
Survivor, right. Lost. A lot of people like that show. Breaking Bad, great show. But like, people just want to go home
and just chill.
just chill. But for whatever reason,
Gaming, whatever.
well,
You
because
know.
2020 was interesting because like everybody was rioting, so it was like everybody for
And then
whatever
everyone was
reason.
forced to stay at home.
Yeah, nobody wanted to do that.
Right. At
Nobody
the time.
wanted to do that. That was a weird moment where I think even the extremes on the left and right could have banded together. They could have been like, okay, I get
Okay,
it
let's
now.
fix this.
Yeah, let's not lock down or whatever.
Do you think we'll ever get back to that? Like, will
A
there ever be
lockdown?
another lockdown?
I think they'll try again. By they, I just mean like federal government with like state governments included. Everybody wants to know who they is, okay? Everybody at home is like, oh, who's they? Well,
The government.
the government,
You know,
man.
Right.
Like the government, man. Just Big Lebowski it all the time. No, I don't think it's really just the government. I think there's a lot of good people in the government too. That are like trying to do something civil, trying to do something normal. But they just like
Get
get
outvoted.
steamrolled. Yeah, they get steamrolled by whatever they're trying to do
Steamrolled or paid?
or paid off. We've definitely seen that a lot. Like when somebody just all of a sudden has a change of heart on the bill that they
Oh,
hated
yeah.
a year
I just
ago.
signed that, but yeah, no.
Yeah, like the change of heart,
Yeah.
change of mind. Like I'm pretty convinced that like, presidents especially like they probably just get handed like a briefcase on their day one and they're like,
Here you go.
open that up. And then they open it up and it's just like a picture of JFK's head getting blown off. And you're like,
This could be you.
yeah. And then they're like, okay, if you ever wrong us, they're like,
So you
remind
think JFK was an inside job?
Oh, the conspiracy theories, Phil.
You brought it up.
I know. Yeah, I would say that 100% he's probably an inside job. Like, cause they knew about Lee Harvey Oswald. Found him. They were like, oh yeah, he's communist sympathizer, just enough. He's on the FBI radar, on the CIA payroll probably at some point. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
But he definitely was. Like, he had done,
Yeah.
CIA work beforehand. So they knew about him. You just have to find the right place, right time, and then you just put him there. And then if there happened to be, like, a second shooter or whatever, everybody calls it, like, the grassy knoll shooting. It's just because the second impact of the bullet, like, doesn't make sense with, like, the trajectory of what we knew and what happened.
Right.
So I think, and that was Warren Commission or whatever, they, talking about it, whatever, and they didn't solve anything.
No.
But I think, like, I would figure, like, it was in the best interest of the Lyndon B. Johnson at the time, and then whoever else was in there, whoever was on the CIA
Right.
head director, I think it was George W. Bush's dad, whatever.
Whatever,
George H.
yeah,
Bush. But I think they probably just had it in their best interest to be like, yeah, we have to kill him. So it's like, however you get it done, you just do it. And the CIA is still doing that stuff.
Don't mess up. Here you
Yeah,
go.
well, and that's what I mean. Like, so CIA hands you a briefcase, and they're just like, yeah, like, this is what happens. We're gonna.
Is it a picture of you just with your head? It's like,
it's
like
like
just
it's like
photoshopped
photoshopped in. I can just see like Lauren Peppa's head, like just half in pieces. But yeah, I figured that, and then they're like, oh yeah, like also like here's a picture of your children, like we know everything about them, and here's here's just like the lowdown. You do anything wrong, like you know the drill.
Well, something's going down, right?
Yeah, you know the drill, and it's in the question like the amount of hate, right? It
Right.
is like people are just at that breaking point where they will do anything to stop the other side, no matter what it is. Death doesn't matter. If you could set up like almost
A curved sort of view, you know what I mean? So like the topic you want's right in the middle, and there's a little leeway to go, to go each way. You know what I mean, right?
yeah,
The yin yang, yeah, that's a good way to like throw it in perspective. But like,
yeah, like I wonder what that would look like,
right?
because it's probably where we are now.
Like, could we like redefine or like not redefine it, but like retool it and make it better
Yeah,
to where it's like suitable for anything we could disagree on. Not anything, but like major topics.
yeah. what do you think? I guess like how would you go about implementing that? Would that be
See,
through, like,
that's one thing I'd have no idea how to like promote or like even advertise or like say it's like part of a voting like view from
yeah,
either side. You know what I mean? Like, because both sides would have to agree,
yeah,
which likely is never going to happen.
yeah. Well, it's funny right now because we are kind of playing like that. Like everybody feels like they're kind of playing like that. They're playing the game,
Right.
right? And the game is just like, oh, this year we'll vote this guy. Next year we'll vote the other guy, the other girl, whatever it is.
Whatever. Right.
And they just kind of keep flip flopping. We've been playing that game for like the last three decades, maybe, where it's been like, okay, we had 8 years of Clinton, 8 years of Bush, 8 years of Obama.
Can we be single for a while?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You know,
Well, I mean, like, that's what we need. We
give
just
us a
need-
break.
Like, we literally need the president to just like step
No one
down and then like
2024.
not call an election
Nobody 2024. Yeah.
and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I think people like certainty. Like, I think people in like the middle, people who are still like, I would say, I would argue that the country is pretty much past.
Do those middle people decide right at the end who they're voting for? Or is it just, do they vote?
Dude, there has to be, and there's a lot of people that don't vote. And not participating in the system is honestly probably better at this point.
Because my individual vote, I don't think is going to come down to who gets elected. You know what I mean? Like, my individual vote
Yeah.
isn't going to pick the winner.
No.
It's not going
it's
to
not
rely
designed to.
on my vote.
No.
Ever.
It's not really designed to
Ever.
work like that.
Which, why even vote, though?
Yeah.
You
Like I
know.
said, I think people who like choose not to participate.
I'm not saying
are-
don't vote. And I'm not
I
saying
mean-
I've never voted.
Yeah. I have voted, but I think people who choose not to participate are almost like more of a winners in this whole debacle. And I think it's just because of the flip flopping. Like,
Well, I can see it
obviously-
going both ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I proud it goes one way? No. But again, my vote really probably isn't going to matter.
Yeah, I always see the same meme where it's like you got like people yelling about like, oh, this guy or this person, and then this person or this person.
What makes me laugh
and
is
then there's like
oh,
me looking the other way, just saying like I got to go make more money. Like, but then that's where it kind of matters to me, I guess. Like when my pocket gets affected by who's in office,
right.
that's when I'm
That's
like,
where it irritates me.
yeah, that's where I'm like mad.
Yeah.
Because, like, even if I'm not voting, my pocketbook is affected. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, this again?
You fools, right?
Oh, I
Like-
go to the grocery store now, and it's 5 times the price it was
yeah, like no.
4
yeah,
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so consequences, right? Natural consequences. That's where it does matter to me. So that's where I'm like, I get it. I get why people vote. At least play the game or whatever. Act
Right.
like the game matters.
Well, like I always look at like The Simpsons, like how they predict everything.
Do you think The
Like-
Simpsons predict everything? Or do you think they just make topics everywhere and it's like they're ready for
And then they just hit. Like
Yeah.
that's just
Well,
too much of a coincidence.
the Trump
you
one
know what
was
I mean?
nuts.
The Trump one, South
'Cause-
Park did one with the Olympics that just happened,
What was the South Park one?
where a trans entered
The Olympic game.
the Olympics in the boxing competition, which is a big topic over the last.
That did
week.
just happen, huh?
Mm-hmm. Like, how can these guys just predict the future? Are they the Illuminati?
Yeah, what if they're
Like-
like told about it
Right.
preemptively? Do you believe in like an Illuminati?
Like a special group? How big would it be?
Probably not that big.
10 people?
More than that.
20?
More than that.
50?
A fraternity.
So there's new members every year.
Yeah.
You get fresh meat every year that you
Fresh
usually
meat,
get
yeah.
torment for the next
You gotta haze them
Hazel, yeah.
for the next like 5 years. Then they become Illuminati.
Powerful, yeah.
Because that would make sense.
Would you join?
No.
No, you'd
Not-
rebel.
Not the Illuminati. Not the Illuminati. I think I think the Masonry one is kind of interesting, like the Freemasons. I think that one's got. Because have you ever watched National Treasure before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so most of what I know about the Freemasons is from that movie. But I think the Freemasons are like the good guys in history. And I think it's just kind of like the unspoken thing, you know? Because like there's letters, if you go back into like the Revolutionary War times, there's letters from the anti-federalists to the federalists, and then there's the same members were like writing to the Illuminati in France at the
Mm-hmm.
time because they were going through like their French Revolution and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
like Ben Franklin has like letters to the Illuminati, like addressed to the Illuminati.
To the Illuminati.
And from a Freemason standpoint, because Ben Franklin, known Mason. But you know they were like talking about like, oh, like you guys aren't doing this right, and like this is a bad way to start a war, and you should do this like through freedom, and you should do this through liberty, and not do it to just kill the upper class, you know. And that's why like the revolutions look so different to like the French Revolution and the American Revolution, is because they like disagreed about how to do it, and like one of them was a Freemason group and one of them was like an Illuminati group. So I think like the Illuminati is like the bad guys. I don't know how many
The
of them are
villains.
left. They're the villains, yeah. But I mean, Illuminati like literally means like illuminated ones, and it's like ones within the knowledge of light, which
Would that be all of our like celebrities?
you know,
They're in the light.
yeah, like in the limelight,
Mm-hmm.
the spotlight. Yeah, you know, I've never really thought about it like that. I guess they could be.
You know what I
I know they
mean?
always
Like-
have like those theories. What is it like? LeBron James, before he goes live, he'll do like the Illuminati
Mhm.
ritual and like the black magic casting, I guess. But he is a Mason, I think. I think he's a black Mason. Like I think he is like I don't know, like it's not Illuminati, but I think it is something along that line of like a secret org or something. And I think he's talked about that pretty openly. He's always like reading books about it and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
even if it's like just for the camera shoot or whatever, but they are books like recommend, because you can like go online and you can just like look up like what do you have to read to be a Mason or whatever, and they just have like a book list. It's just like a Barnes and Noble book list or whatever. All the all the books are out there.
Why don't you just go read the books?
Me?
Yeah. You said you wanted to be one. Or if that's the one you would join.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why don't you start?
Yeah. I don't think I could get into like the whole lodge thing, so it would just make sense to just like read the books, see what it's about.
Not even to like see what it's about. You know what I mean?
Like what kind of ritual?
Yeah, broaden your horizon. You know what I mean? Like at least give you a little insight to what they do.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to know, I guess. It's
Right.
probably out there somewhere.
Right.
Somebody's probably done a documentary for it or
Something, a
something. 'Cause
TV something,
I would
right.
like to know.
Even an interview was like,
But to join, a little bit different.
I could see that.
How about you? Like, have you ever wanted to join the secret Illuminati cult or Freemasonry or anything like that?
it never. I guess it never really like. I never like knew what they were until like everyone made the Illuminati like big. You know what I mean? And then it was just like everyone else is like making a big deal about it. I don't really care.
Yeah.
And you know, like it's nothing that's probably ever going to affect me personally. Like
Yeah.
they're not going to tell me one thing. You know what I mean? Like
Probably not.
I'm never going to have an interaction with the Illuminati.
Well, how would you know?
Well, right, but you know what I mean? Like
If they
it's
are
very like
Do you think they are some like evil cabal?
I'm sure
runs the
some
world,
I'm sure some
dictates
have
it.
evil intentions, yes. Do they all? I don't think so.
Yeah. Do you think they're actually really prominent then? Do you think it's like a bunch of high like, Bill Gates or,
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have a
Jeff
bunch of money if they
Bezos
like
or-
pulled it all together. Like yeah, they could do whatever they wanted to.
Yeah, so do you think that they do generally good things or generally bad things?
I feel like they do whatever they want to do.
What do you think their end goal is?
That I don't know. I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
Yeah. I guess like I don't know if you should ever be like worried about them. You know what I mean?
No, right. Like, I don't know if I should say anything about them like bad. Like, what if they find out? I might be a target.
That's true.
Like, I
But,
doubt it, but
yeah, but you never know.
But right.
Why risk it? You know, like I have stories of people like close to me that think that they're like getting hunted down by Freemasons and like the Illuminati and stuff, and like I don't believe them. It's more like paranoid delusion, but you never know. If the people are in that high power, say they're like Boeing executives, and you happen to be talking about the planes breaking down or something like that, you go missing the next day, Phil, I'm not coming to find you.
Well, I mean,
because they're after me.
no
after
one's gonna find me.
Yeah,
like
they booked you up in a plane. Like you're not coming back.
What if it's like the manifest thing where they just
Malaysian
turn
flight.
off like the plane's location? No one even knows where I am.
Yeah, and then you just never land.
Then, or like they turn it on mid-flight, so you don't even know where they were. You know what I mean? Like
they might just have people in high places to do that.
right.
So don't die to the Illuminati. I
No,
would not.
no,
wanna
no
die
one
to
would
that.
know. I'd just be missing.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
true.
ran away.
Yeah, but I would know because
I would know.
you wouldn't show up to the podcast on Monday.
Yeah.
Do you think that because you kind of said a little bit earlier, you said that there was like a yin and yang. Do you think what do you think that would look like?
I don't think there is anything that we could like compare it to now. You know what I mean? Like it'd have to be something completely new. Like, cause there's not even a way to like completely like describe how it would even look like. Cause there's no way we would know which way they're gonna set it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think it would be
Or what
more-
topics would be in that middle?
Yeah. Oh, so
You
would there
know.
have to be like a voting system then? Or?
See, that's I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I wish that we could go back to like, not necessarily where like voting matters, like where it's kind of more of just like what education matters in like your village or like your small town, Like you just have like, I don't know. If you were born on a farm, you learn farm work. If you don't like that, go learn a trade from somebody else,
right.
And like I feel like that has been completely disconnected the last like 40 years, 50 years, way before my birth. Cause like school was like, go to school,
Right.
get a job. Like you're probably gonna work in finance. You're probably gonna be shuffling paperwork. You're probably gonna be working in an office.
Right.
But it's like that's not like sustainable, obviously.
No, right.
Like at a long term for society, you don't really need that many paper shufflers. Unfortunately or
Well,
fortunately,
everything's going digital now. You know what I mean? Like there's
That's the
not a
whole
lot
thing.
of paper out there now. You know what I mean?
That's the whole thing. So yeah, I
So then you're just clicking
clicking all day.
all day.
Keep locked in. Keep on clicking, Phil. Gotta get paid. Gotta make your money. Gotta keep clicking.
If that's all I had to do is click all day, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's just cookie clicker. Cookie clicker
I'd
pro.
probably go insane.
Just click
Just sitting
all
there
day.
pressing a button all day. Like,
Yeah, but
I'd
every
go
time you press
insane.
the button, you make $1.
Oh, then I'm sitting there pressing it all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Well, you don't really make $1 because it gets taxed, so you make about 70 cents.
I'm still clicking it all day.
Well, and then you also have to factor in that you can't. You don't have arms.
I don't have arms.
Yeah, so you gotta like throw your hands off.
What
of
if I
it.
just do it with my toes? And just
Okay.
sit there and click it.
Yeah, that might work. Cause that's really tough. That's tough work. You gotta make it hard, but you have to make it easy enough, but just hard
Sit there and
enough.
peck it with my nose.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you were gonna do. You got toes or something. I'm like, okay, whatever. You have toes.
Well, you said you
now.
took away my hands, so I at least still have my feet, right?
You're paraplegic.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably have to be my nose then, huh?
Yeah. Or you just like your eyeball, like you just look at it, get all wide
Elbow,
eyed.
maybe?
Yeah, elbow. Yeah, you have like a nub. Might work. Might work.
Do I get the robo hand? Because then it's just.
I mean,
like-
only if, yeah, you can have a robo hand,
So yeah, then it's just sitting there doing that all day. Just
but
clicking.
the robo hand doesn't have like the stylus hands, so it can't pick up the phone. It just
Well, all you need to
just
do is
taps
click,
it.
right?
Yeah, but the click just doesn't click. And then if you click it too much within an hour, you can't get paid that hour. It's a tough job,
What's the
man.
limit? I'll go click it that
10
many
times.
I'll go click it that many times.
10 times. If you click it
like-
more, you won't get paid.
In like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be sitting there for an hour
Yep.
and go do whatever I want. Then
Yeah.
come back, click it a couple
But you're
more
only
times.
making like $350 maybe after taxes. $350 an hour
Ouch.
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, if you were, I don't know. A lot of people have like salary positions and stuff, and they just get like called in whenever. I don't think I could do that.
I used to have one of those positions.
It'd be horrible.
It was horrible. I mean, I liked it, but it was kind of like bad looking at it now. Because like
I guess it depends what you do.
anything after like so many hours that I was there, I wasn't getting paid for.
Yeah. Like that's what it would feel like. You're just
Yeah.
like not getting paid.
Yeah.
Do you think that salary positions are gonna be like gone at some point though? Because it kind of
At
looks
some
like
point,
that.
yeah. It's
Kinda looks
all
like
just
that.
going to be hourly.
Do you agree when like I don't know, say like the company does really well one year, do you think it's okay to give everybody up top raises?
I think everybody should get raises since everybody's putting in the work. Like everybody in your corporation.
Well, not everybody.
Well, you know what I mean, like
How about
but
that?
like if you're making a bunch of money, if I was making a bunch of money and I owned a company, I'm giving it to everybody in my company.
yeah.
At least a raise.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, I don't think.
Keep them happy to make sure that
But
they
then-
never want to leave. You know what I mean? Like you got to treat them good to make them
People-
never want to leave your company.
Yeah.
You
But
know
then
what I
people really hate you when you have to say you don't have a good year next year.
Natural consequences. You know what I mean?
But people hate that. People are like,
But I can't take away money. You know what I mean?
but would you take away pay if you had a bad year after you had a good
I don't
year?
think you can.
You can't like
I don't think you
de-raise?
can.
Like legally, or you can't.
Yeah,
morally?
I just don't think you can legally
Do you think you would though? if you
without
could?
like having a bunch of people quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that
Having
might
the
just be,
fallout.
That might just be part of it.
Like say you're my lowest producer and I just go, "Hey, I'm cutting your pay."
Yeah.
Like out of a production standpoint,
Oh, you're cutting just that person's pay.
like maybe.
Maybe.
Like just cuz production sees
Yeah.
you know, like maybe I have a certain limit in production.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Cause that would be nutty. So like, cause
you have to meet a quota.
that person would probably leave.
Not if I pay them well enough. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, if you demote them though.
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
like if you.
But
give
I
them
don't think I
less
can
pay.
like legally demote somebody without cause.
Yeah, but the cause would be
Because I had a bad year.
production quotas not being met. So
But
that
then
would
I'd have to
be-
demote everybody, not just one person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
You
do you
know.
think you could just demote one person?
No. I
But-
couldn't just single one person out like that.
Yeah, and then you'd probably have to take less of a pay. Too.
Yeah.
I think that's the important thing, right? It's like, oh, everybody's.
But like, am I
getting-
already set?
It depends. Probably.
Like, do I have enough money to where I don't have to worry for the next 20 years?
Maybe. But
Yeah,
I mean, you do
if
run.
so,
a,
then yeah, I'll take that
you
little
do
bit
run
of
a
a pay
business,
cut.
so it's
You
like
know
you
what I
never
mean?
really
Like,
know.
I take that pay cut for the year, and then the next year I come back strong. We have another great year,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it only becomes an issue when you have like 5-10 bad years
In a row, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like 5 years in a row. It's just like, oh,
Like
bad.
you know, everything fluctuates, so it's like
Yeah.
you're not gonna have a solid good year.
Yeah, it depends what your business does
Right.
and whatnot. I think there's like a really crazy.
It's not like a podcast where we can do it all year and not have any like issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe. Wait, what do you.
But like, just like we don't have
Oh,
like
yeah.
any-
Yeah, yeah.
like
No problem.
limits. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think about it like this. Like, I think a lot of people who don't necessarily take on risk, like, don't understand how much of a risk it is to, like, start a business from the ground up or whatever.
Right.
Because, like, that person is, like, risking their entire livelihood usually on something.
Or at least monetary.
Big chunk of money.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Like I'm sure this setup right now is a decent chunk of money for some people.
Yeah, I don't know how much we ended up spending.
I'm just saying,
here,
like,
but
with all the equipment here,
yeah,
it's probably a decent amount of change.
it's a good chunk of change. It's not like a small amount of change.
No, it's
I
not
guess.
like you're just, oh, here it is, throwing it up in the air.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
No, I get that.
like obviously you're like doing time and trying to make this work. Like
yeah,
you're putting your effort into this.
yeah. You know, like a podcast, I guess, is probably not a good business model, right?
I mean, everyone's doing one.
That's
Not
true.
saying like we shouldn't do one, but like
Yeah,
we just need to make ours better.
make ours better.
At least make them look.
What do you think the most ideal podcast looks like?
I think it's what we're doing. Just random thoughts, raw thoughts.
Yeah. Do you think I got too raw today, though?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
I don't think so.
Hopefully, it's not going to cause a stir.
Get us canceled.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that to that extent.
Because I didn't like agree with anybody. I
It's
just
not like
disagreed with
we're not
one.
throwing shade.
Yeah. I just disagreed.
We're
with
not
one
throwing
side.
out the hate that we're talking about all podcasts.
I
so-
might have been.
Not really. We're just like telling two sides hate each other.
Yeah.
We didn't say
But I also said I disagreed with one, so maybe that would just put me into the other camp, and it's like, well,
maybe they hate you now.
Well, yeah, but that's not a good thing.
But we got them to look.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Plus, maybe that side can hate me. I don't know.
Maybe both sides will hate us.
That would be ideal. Imagine if everybody hated us. No friends. We're just chilling. Two guys on a podcast, just chilling.
At least we got each other, bro.
Yeah. Rather die. Rodent. Yeah, no, that's because the ideal podcast for me, I think, is like
Just with homies, like just with a bunch of people, like just
Yeah.
just friends.
I think
you know
we just
what I mean?
have more and more and more people on.
Yeah, just friends. You know, close
Yeah.
people.
Because honestly, we can do whatever. Like, I don't know. There's no limit. Like you said, there's no limit. There's no upside. There's no.
There's
like,
no
downside.
structure to a podcast. We
Yeah, I
can
know.
literally do whatever
I'm sorry
we
I
want.
talked a lot today. Because that's me trying to be like, oh my god, I have a vendetta to go.
I mean, you
after-
were real mad today, so.
I was upset, dude. I still am, kind of. 'Cause
But
it
hey,
took
we made it work. We made it work.
it took so long to get everything working. And then I think we only got probably because I forgot to hit the clip button, so it didn't even make a difference. We set up 3 cameras.
We'll get it next time.
I don't think I have it ideal yet. I think I gotta get. I'm trying to think of like how to do it.
We'll get it next time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like because I did use it like you, me, and then overhead, but the overhead camera looks so good compared to like these other two. So I'm just like I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah,
I think it does at least. I hope it does.
it looks pretty good.
It looks better than it did Monday or whatever day we did that.
Monday, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I know like building out the show, like I kind of have like I think we get random people on here too, like just people that we know or whatever. But I think we eventually get like guests,
That'd be so much fun.
like just from different places or whatever.
Like, I have fun doing this, so, like, I don't see why other people wouldn't have a blast just sitting here talking.
I just feel like I talk too much, so I'm just chilling.
You're bringing up most of the topics. You know what I mean? Like,
No. Because you had brought up the hateful one. That was you.
that was a big one, yeah.
But I talked about it for a while, but it was you. You know what I mean?
I brought up the beach hair footage last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even finish. Well, I haven't done our shorts yet. I've not edited our shorts yet. I have so many timestamps, dude. That was a banger of an episode. Like
That one was fun.
on G. For real bustling. That podcast last week, we had so many shorts. Like, I'm going to look back on this one. I'm going to be like, we did not get as many, like...
We have maybe 2.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we have, like, 11 from the other one.
Maybe we just mix them together so that way we have
We'll have content. Yeah, we'll have content. I think that's going to be, like, one thing that I focus on as
I think we
creator.
start doing 1 or 2 a week so we always have content.
Might be the move.
With or without Kato.
Yeah. Not that we have... Because Kato should be here. He should be here.
Yeah.
Monday.
At least one day a week.
What are you doing next week, Monday?
Nothing.
I think Jeff is going to be in town.
I'm in. You say I have to meet him. So
Yeah. So Jeff,
we may take your podcast. Talk about fishing.
That would be baller. Do what you have to do. Do what you have. It's not my show. It's just a.
But it
beat
is
too.
though.
It's just good enough.
You came up with it.
Yeah, but it's just good enough.
We made him look.
We made him look. No. So if Jeff comes in, we have Kato maybe with Jeff, us 4.
That'd be wild.
I think what I do is I get another like something to put this camera on, and then I think I just mess with behind the scenes stuff this week, and then I think we have that stuff like ready for Monday. Because today I really only swapped them. If I knew you were going to talk for a while, if I knew I was going to talk for a while.
Right.
But like,
we don't really know.
Yeah, when we were going live, man, I used to do this all live, so I just have to get back on my game. That's really all it comes down to.
Well, it's not like we have a planned agenda that we're both gonna talk about. You know what I mean? We're just coming in winging it.
See, it was with my last show, we had like topics that each of us brought to the table.
We could do that.
About. Yeah, but
then it just seems staged.
it's all fake.
Right,
Yeah.
fake news.
Fake
like,
dudes
yeah, we're just
talking.
Yeah.
But
then we're just a news cycle at that.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. I do like the idea of having like a hat that you just draw out.
I like that. Maybe we ask people random stuff at like work.
Yeah.
Just like, what's a random topic?
What's like the most random topic? And then
see, like I know I have a couple questions for like Kato just because I know his line of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like
you know, I think we do kind of just let it go wherever it goes. But I think the hat thing is really funny.
I like
Like
that,
I think if we start out every show like that, like as like an icebreaker topic.
I like that.
And then whatever it is, like we just all have like a different idea for it, and then we just go from there.
Right. Or our different point of view for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the other thing too. We all have like a lot of different things going on in life. Like we're all, I don't know, like you and I, yeah, like we have the same job, but like, you know, like
we're not always gonna agree.
Yeah, and kind of like what we do outside of work is way different, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you fish, I go shooting a lot. Like that's.
I mean,
kinda
I
my
still
thing.
shoot.
That's true.
Like I hunt. Like
You hunt.
I shoot.
Yeah, so I guess it's similar, but it's like.
But it's not like I go every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't game as consistently as you do.
I game a lot.
Right.
But that's like boring. Like I'll never, even when I'm gaming, dude, I don't even talk about like gaming, because I think it's one of the most boring things. Like I hate to do that to my own industry like that.
Like you just hate talking about what you're doing.
No,
Because that's all you're doing is basically explaining it to your audience on what you're doing at the time.
Yeah, maybe this is where we kind of go full circle. So at the very beginning of the show, you talked about like, we talked about like content, right? And like my gaming org, I don't think is like worth as much money as like it could be right now, right? That's kind of what we were talking about at the very, very beginning of the show, very tail beginning of the show. I, as a content creator, I think like I've evolved to the point where it's like I do it kind of low effortly. Like not this show I'm probably putting more effort into than my live streams, right? My gaming live streams. And I go like all out on those, right? It like looks like I put a lot of time in. There is a lot of work behind the scenes. There's a lot of editing. There's a lot of like 3D scene making, all of this, yada yada. If you haven't yet, go check out Lord Peppa Gaming. But the best thing I can kind of describe it as is like it is like a entertainment show. Like it's meant to be silly, wacky, weird, out of pocket, spicy, dumb, but like
Internet Spice Lord. Yeah, yeah.
ironically cringy, inorganic. It's like designed to be like all of these things, right? And I guess with like the amount of effort that I'm putting into that show isn't really like 150% to me, right? Usually when I like start like when I started this show with Kato, I was telling them I'm like, yeah, like I really want to like just full bore into it. I want to do like 2 shows a week. I
Yeah.
want to do like, you know, almost daily.
So you always
edit.
have some content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost daily like shorts out.
Well, how else are you gonna catch everybody's eye without like marketing or throwing out those shorts or drawing their attention to us in some way?
And it's a lot. It's a lot of work. But you know, I've so like a podcast, I'd much rather put full effort into more so than a gaming show.
Why is it? Why is that? Like, because obviously you're spending your time doing both.
Yeah.
Like, why not commit the same amount of effort into both?
Because I think I'll get burned out from both. Like if I do everything all at once, it does get overwhelming.
Okay.
It's like, you know, I think I care more about a podcast than I do about video games.
Okay. We could sit here and talk about the video games, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You know, and I think kind of because of what we were talking about today, I think that's like more important. Like, I think it's just more important than the video game.
okay.
Because like, yeah, when you talk about like hate in society or whatever, you
Right.
want to like break apart all these different factions, and you want to like see kind of where society is headed. Because I think that's way more important to me.
Do you think our games cast any like direction we're gonna go? Do you think any of our games like really matter into like how society like
Pop culture, yeah. Like the no Russian mission on Modern Warfare 2 comes to mind. Everybody knows what that thing is. At least everybody like our age
Right.
or anybody who's like a little bit younger than us, they know. When you say no Russian, that's like a pop culture reference that everybody can understand, and it's obviously it's a horrific video game event that didn't happen in real life, but everybody can reference it.
Right.
Right. And the no Russian one for people at home, like if you don't know, I guess, like if you've been living under a rock for so long, Modern Warfare 2, 2008 came out with a campaign mission. It was the third mission. It was skippable, but nobody ever skipped it. And it was a elevator scene. It was like the opening scene, and the guy just says, "Hey, just remember, no Russian." And then they get out of the elevator and instantly start unloading every single bullet from their guns into a full populated airport, right? And you are, as a player, designed to go through the game and kill innocent civilians.
Yes.
It's horrific, right? But by all intents and purposes, it fit that story so well, and I think that story had it told a story that I think everybody like our age will probably remember. So I think that stuff does stick into like the human psyche.
What
somehow.
about like Grand Theft Auto? That's just like basically made for like going out stealing cars, shooting people. Like,
yeah, and I think that desensitizes people at least to some degree. Like kind of as a whole, like, oh yeah, like everybody's got the same joke. You pay the hooker and then you kill her after and get the
Right.
money back. And I think everybody kind of like understands that obviously it's like not real and you never could do that. But I
Right.
think it does like desensitize people to
certain situations.
yeah, a lot of situations. Like that was in a video game. We all know that was in a video game. But then you like scroll on Twitter and then you see like a death or whatever. Like you see somebody get shot on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you kind of won't even think twice about it anymore because of how often you've already seen it.
Or it's just like all the school shootings nowadays. It's just like another one. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And that's kind of a part of everything, I guess. It's just like we're exposed to too much info, and there's too much going on in the phones. You can't pay attention to all of it. Um, and you might just want to go like get away from it all and save space into a video game or whatever.
Right.
But it just so happens to be a video game that is extremely violent. So it's like, and again, you're not actually doing the violence, so
Right.
I don't care if you like play video games all day or whatever, play GTA, do that and this or whatever. But yeah, I feel like to some extent it does desensitize. It probably does depend on how early you start playing those video games. Because like a kid might have a different reaction to it than like a grown adult,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But
Well, a kid playing is going to think that's everyday life.
yeah. And I don't obviously like I'm not one of those people that demonize the video game industry because I don't think that's causing serial killers or psychopaths to go shoot up their school or whatever, but it has some effect on culture. It has to, just because you can all reference the same stuff from it, and it's like
all doing the same
jokingly
thing
or whatever. Yeah, it's like we're
Pretty
all just like a
much,
part of it.
Yeah.
Because there's like a mission in Modern Warfare 2 also where you're like defending your own neighborhood and you're like going to like the Burger King next door and they're like shooting up at helicopters and stuff, and like it's almost like it paints like a Red Dawn situation, but it ends up being like the collapse of Washington D.C. And there's a line at the end of that mission where people are like, when are we gonna go into Moscow, huh? And he's like, it can't be soon enough, and very obviously like implying that like the Russians invaded the U.S. and like it becomes a whole like world war, right? But in today's culture, and take in mind this is only 15 years later, 2 decades, not even, you couldn't even make a video game on that because it would be like too controversial or it would be like too on the nose,
Right.
and people would be like, oh, like
I'm not going to buy
you're gonna
that.
start a war because you're like implying that Russia's already doing this or whatever. So it's like, it's stuff like that.
Is that why video games are rated different?
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like,
but like, yes, it's up to parents to tell kids that they can't play rated video games or whatever, and like you shouldn't be.
what about like a Red Dead?
I mean, Red Dead, you did kill a lot of people.
You don't have to.
Sometimes
Not necessarily.
Sometimes you will. The story kind of pushes
you're
you
right.
in that direction. That said, like that's a masterpiece of a game. But yeah, you probably should be 18 or like older than 15 or whatever to play the game.
Right.
I don't know. Suggestive themes, I guess, or whatever it would be. But
There's definitely a targeted audience.
yeah, but Red Dead's like one of the best games ever.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad game. Like I had so much fun playing 1 and 2.
Yeah, like I wish we could go back to like the cowboy days and just
Have shootouts every day.
yeah, duel out, and I feel like a lot of stuff would be saved by that.
Have people robbing trains every day.
Yeah, robbing a stagecoach, getting some money from the back, going out with a bang, It'd be fun.
Be my fun. Yeah, it
It'd
would.
be fun. I wish I could, if you could live in like one time frame, what would it be?
I don't know.
You think you'd pick now?
No.
No. Really?
No, because I think like having everything at like my fingertips with like a cell phone has ruined like the appreciation of what I did have. Like, you know what I mean? Or what I could go do instead of like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and scroll on my phone now. Or have all this information at the touch of a finger. It's just like, oh, I could have went and read a book. Or I could.
Would you have read that book?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But
pretend. Oh man. Okay.
I could have spent that time doing this,
Learning, doing, and committing.
Right. The upward
Yeah.
spiral.
Upward spiral. We'll probably have to call it here.
All right.
But with pleasure.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Well,
I know I talked a lot about that whole thing, but
I'll bring some topics next time.
yeah. Bring whatever you need to.
I got a good one.
You should do all the talking.
I ain't doing all the talking.
I'm not even gonna talk next podcast. I'll just be like chilling.
I'm just gonna go off.
Yeah, I'll just have the camera on you. I'll be like here chilling. I'll just be like.
You might even be sleeping.
Yeah, I'm just passed out. Like, that'd be great. I would love that. Yeah. Anyways, we'll come back Beat Your podcast next week. We'll probably come back with a couple of shorts in between now and then. We're gonna have a lot of content. I figure this is probably gonna be, like I said, kind of like my full bore. I think like 150% in.
I'm in.
It's definitely
I'm not
the
a
most.
half-asser.
Yeah.
I'm a whole ass or nothing.
Oh, asser. Got the whole booty. Put both butt cheeks in my mouth. Yeah, I really am like, I think there's more impact on a podcast than there is on a gaming live stream. So I think that's my
Well,
answer.
we can touch more topics.
Oh yeah, we can do a lot more.
I
A
have
lot
a good
more in
topic
detail.
for next time too.
Okay.
Already.
Good. Write it down. Put it in a hat.
Put it in that.
Because that'd be funny. Like every time you think about something, just write down.
I'll just throw it in my hat and just
Yeah.
pull it out. You know.
Yeah. Oh, like, that would be unexpectedly funny too.
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Just grab it.
Yeah, like the little mouse running around. Anyways, Phil, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Beat Your
It's fun.
podcast. You guys at home, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell. Hopefully the lighting a lot better in here. I don't know, it looks better, so we'll kind of go from that route. Thank you guys so much though for being a part of the show as well. And later.
Have a good night.
Bye. See ya. Done. Donezo.